In this video, we're going to talk about binomial multiplication with a coefficient. So we've been working on multiplying binomials, so multiplying brackets that have two terms in them. And today we're going to look at what do I do if I have an extra number in front of one of the brackets. So this question here says expand and simplify. Expand means multiply. Simplify means collect our like terms. So I have 2 times 4x plus 3 times 5x plus 1. So we've done questions without the coefficient, and now we're going to talk about what do I do when there's a number in front. So I'm just going to zoom, give me 1 second. All right, so the trick here is to do one part at a time. We're going to move from the front to the back. I'm going to start by taking 2 and I'm going to multiply it into the first bracket. So I'm basically just ignoring that second bracket for right now. We're just multiplying 2 into the first bracket. So 2 times 4x is 8x. And then 2 times 3 is 6. Now, this still needs to be multiplied by 5x plus 1. So I need to keep it in a bracket to show that we still need to multiply it by the second bracket, 5x plus 1. All right, from here, we're going to multiply the way we would with any other binomial. I'm going to take that second bracket, 5x plus 1, and multiply it by 8x and 6. So I'm going to say we're doing 8x times 5x plus 1, and then plus 6 times 5x plus 1. From here, we are going to multiply 8x into the first bracket, and then 6x, or just 6, into the second bracket. All right, 8x times 5x. 8 times 5 is 40, and then x times x is x squared. 8x times 1, 8 times 1 is 8, so I put plus 8, and then there's just the 1x, so we're going to put an x. All right, when I go to do the next one, we're not just multiplying by 6, it is positive 6 that we're multiplying by. So positive 6 times 5x should give me positive 30x. And positive 6 times 1 should give me positive 6. So we had one extra step in the expanding where we had to take that 2 and multiply it into the first bracket and then multiply those two brackets together. The last thing we need to do is the simplify part. We need to collect like terms. So 40x squared does not have any other like term, friends. It's just 40x squared. The 8x and the 30x, however, are like terms. They're both positive, so I can add them together to get 38x. And then the plus 6 does not have any like term, friends, so it just stays plus 6. So our final answer here is 40x squared plus 38x plus 6. All right, let's try the next one underneath that. We have 3 times 2x minus 5 times x plus 2. So same thing as last time. I have the two brackets and then I have a number out front. So I am going to start by multiplying that 3 into that first bracket. So 3 times 2x is 6x. And then 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Now, this still needs to be multiplied by x plus 2, so it needs to go in a bracket to show that we're still multiplying. So I have 6x minus 15 times x plus 2. All right, from here, we're going to multiply the way we normally do with binomials. I'm going to take each term in the first bracket and multiply it by the second bracket. So we're going to do 6x times x plus 2, and then minus 15 times x plus 2. All right, from here, I am going to multiply 6x times x, 6x times 2, and then not just 15, but negative 15 times x, and negative 15 times 2. Now I notice that there isn't a number in front of the x, but I do know that there is a secret 1 if that helps us, so I'm going to write that in. Okay, 6x times 1x. 6 times 1 is 6. X times x is x squared. All right, 6x times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. And then it just has an x. All right, when we do this part, we're multiplying by negative 15. So both the negative and the 15. So negative 15 times positive 1 is negative 15. And then there's just the 1x. And then negative 15 times positive 2 is negative 30. So I have 6x squared plus 12x minus 15x minus 30. We've done the expanding part. All we have left to do is simplify. So to simplify, I am going to collect any like terms that we have. 6x squared, I don't have any other x squareds, so it just stays 6x squared. The 12x, I have a minus 15x. Those are like terms. So I'm going to do 12 take away 15. 12 take away 15 is negative 3x. And then the minus 30 does not have any like terms, so it's just minus 30. So our final answer here is 6x squared minus 3x minus 30. All right, we have one last example, part C. We have negative 10 times 11 minus x and then squared. So we've talked about that square before. That means that this is negative 10 times 11 minus x times 11 minus x. When it's squared, we are multiplying by itself. All right, so from here, we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. I'm going to take that number in front and multiply it into the first bracket. So negative 10 times 11. You can use your calculator if you need to. That is negative 110. And then negative 10 times, there's a secret 1 here, negative 1 is positive 10, and then that has an x. Now we are still multiplying by 11 minus x, so I really should put a bracket around there to show that we are multiplying still. All right, from here we're going to do what we always do. I'm going to take that negative 110 and multiply it by 11 minus 1x, and then take the plus 10x and multiply that by 11 minus 1x. Okay, so a negative 110 times 11. I'm thinking that's probably negative 1,210, but I'm going to check on my calculator. There it is, negative 1,210. And then negative 110 times negative 1. A negative times a negative makes a positive. That's going to be 110x. Then we're going to do 10x, and it's positive 10x times 11. So that is going to be 110x. And then 10x times negative 1 is negative 10. And then I have x times x, so that is x squared. All right, last thing I need to do is collect up any like terms that we might have. So the negative 1,200, there are no other numbers without variables. The 110x's are like terms, so I'm going to add those together to get 220x, and then minus 10x squared. Now that answer is perfectly fine. However, we do often try to put the x squared first and then the x and then the number. So if you want, you can go one extra step, put the x squared first. That is negative 10x squared. And then the x term, so plus 220x. And then the number, so minus 1,210. But it is fine the way it is, right? It's just if we were doing something else with it, it might be more useful to us in that form. Okay, well that's it for our binomial multiplication with a coefficient. There are some practice questions on the back side of that sheet for you to work on. All right, have a great rest of your day.